Hello, and welcome to your first Legislative Branch Part 2 video. Today we're going to talk about constitutional interpretation and the powers of Congress. So today our essential questions are, what essential steps are taken in the bill to law process? How can the Constitution be interpreted? In addition to creating laws, what other powers or responsibilities does Congress have? So, on to constitutional interpretation. Now, if you can enlarge this image a little bit, this is one of my favorite political cartoons, okay? So, it says, so, Judge Alito, what you're telling us is that the Constitution must be read only as the framers would have intended it in 1787, or understood it in 1787. And Judge Alito says, oh, right from its inspiring opening words, Senator. We, the propertied white males of an 18th century agrarian settlement scattered along the Atlantic coast. Now, the first three words of the Constitution are, we, the people. So in this cartoon, what Samuel Alito is saying is, look, I believe in a strict interpretation of the Constitution, okay? So I believe that the Constitution should not be expanded upon. It should not be like a living document, okay? So there are two different schools of thought on constitutional interpretation. The first one is a strict constructionist, and Samuel Alito would have been a strict constructionist. Okay, he's actually one of our Supreme Court justices right now. Fun fact. Anyway, so strict constructionists are going to believe, again, that the Constitution should be interpreted very strict. So it's like how our founding fathers would have understood it in 1787. So not a lot of reading between the lines or anything like that. Loose constructionists, on the other hand, are going to take a much more liberal approach to interpreting the Constitution. So try to think about how the Constitution might, a specific part of the Constitution might apply in a certain situation or a modern situation. Okay? And McCulloch v. Maryland is a landmark Supreme Court case that we will get to in class. So, scooting ahead then to some powers of Congress. I'll backtrack and I'll just put these up individually. So the first are expressed powers, okay? Now before we even go there, one of the questions that you guys kind of struggled with on our review activity that we did with our last unit is, where can I find, or what article establishes Congress, okay? Article 1, Article 1, Article 1 establishes Congress, okay? So express powers are powers that we can actually see in the Constitution. So they're expressed, they're written down there, okay? These are powers directly stated in the Constitution. So we can look in Article 1 and we can specifically see Congress can do this, 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 and this. And we're going to look at that in the Constitution in class. Okay? Enumerated powers are those powers that are numbered in the Constitution. Okay? So for our purposes, expressed and enumerated powers are going to be the same thing. All right? Because both of them have to be listed in the Constitution. Okie dokie? Next are implied powers. And implied powers are those that aren't listed in the Constitution, but are implied, but are required for Congress to carry out their expressed powers. Okay, so an example, an expressed power of Congress is that they have the authority to raise an army and a navy. Okay, but think about what an implied power of Congress might be. Anybody? Huh? An implied power of Congress would be to have a draft, because in order to have an army and a navy, you have to have people. Okay? All right, and then we've got the necessary and proper clause. And this is often called the elastic clause of the Constitution, okay? Because what does elastic do? It stretches. So the necessary and proper clause gives Congress the authority to make all laws that are necessary and proper. Nowhere does it say what necessary and proper is and what it's not, okay? So that's why this is going to grant Congress increase or stretch their power in the Constitution, okay? So with that, I shall stop. If you have any questions, let me know.